in the High Desert by David Royce. The temperature added to its mercury rating by another 2 degrees as Ben Fowler beat the dashboard of his car with the side of his fist, trying to get the air conditioning to do something more than whine while blowing out hot, circulated air. "Piece of shit," he said. "Well, maybe if you kick it with your foot, it'll start working," Lacy said with a smirk and a lot of sarcasm. She had her feet on the dash, arms crossed in the passenger seat of his Camry. "Now, fuck you, Lacy. Just because you grew up in this poor excuse for hell doesn't mean I have to like it." She glared at Ben out of the corner of her eye, but decided to not respond. What would be the point? She grew up in Pima, Arizona. She suffered through the brutal dry heat all her life until she went to college to get a degree in environmental studies. Look where that got you. She shut off her inner voice like turning off an annoying song on the radio. Probably something by Nickelback. It's not that Ben was wrong, though. She'd been taught from an early age that you didn't exist with this heat, you battled it. People and the weather here were adversaries. Knowing what to wear, never shorts or sleeveless shirts because you'd be fried like a potato in 10 minutes' time. Sunscreen wasn't an afterthought, but a necessity like water. And not drinking enough water didn't result in being slightly dehydrated, but could kill you in short order. The desert wasn't just hot. It baked you if you weren't smart. They rode in silence for a couple of miles, the landscape a gray-filled vista of sun-shrunken sand, cacti, the occasional tumbleweed and blades of Bermuda grass attempting not to die under the unrelenting heat. Some people found this landscape beautiful, but most thought of it as a tomb for nature. Ben grew up in Michigan. He thrived in the Four Seasons environment. 6 months cold to freezing, 6 months warm to blazing. His Midwest upbringing might have given him a respect for nature, but he was ill prepared for this place. It was October, Halloween just a few days away, and not a sight of rain, snow, or cooler temps. "How long are we going to be here for?" he asked. Just until the day after Halloween." He shook his head. This ain't right for Halloween." "Pff. We spend every Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even the 4th of July with your family, Ben. I've ate so many bratwursts, I swear my guts are half pig. And your handsy Uncle Bert. Hey, he ain't like that, Lacy. Jesus, he just wants you to like him." "Yeah, he'd love for me to like him in his pants," she said under her breath. "What?" Nothing, sweetheart. Just keep driving." Ben grunted, but did as he was told. That was good. That was very good. It was a long, hot journey through the desert. Ben grumbled because of course he did, and Lacy held her tongue. They'd been dating for 2 years. Well long enough in Lacy's opinion that there should have been a ring of some kind on her finger. Ben expressed his love for her generally at the point of climax, while his face twisted into a shuddering mass of pleasure. But it was always the same afterwards. We need to take it slow. We shouldn't be thinking about babies. Global warming, political unrest, sex trafficking rings. On and on it went. At first, she thought he made some valid points. After all, would you want to have a baby who could one day be abducted off the street and get sold into sex slavery? Of course not. So the better and far more sensible conclusion was to not have children at all, eliminating all the threats. "Is this it?" Ben asked. Lacy left behind her thoughts of a burning earth and sex fiends as her childhood home came into view. It wasn't much, but it was hers. A single-story home with a porch wrapped in a screen to keep the bugs out, a once bright yellow paint job which had since faded to a dull metallic color, and the ever-present glow of the porch light illuminating the 3 steps onto the front door. "Yes," she sighed, "this is home." Ben shrugged and parked to the side next to an endless scrub brush desert. Lacy asked Ben to knock, but he refused. He was still rattled by the emptiness of the landscape. Nothing for miles except desert sand and loneliness. Lacy knocked with excitement. The front door opened. An excited squeal erupted from the woman standing in the light. The woman bounced on both feet, holding her hand to her mouth. "Lacy!" she cried as she wrapped her ample arms around her. Lacy pretended not to care, pretended not to pull away. Her mother smothered her with a hug. "I missed you so much, darling." Ben stood uncomfortably beside her as Lacy slowly extracted her mother's arms from around her neck. "This is Ben," she finally said. "Ben! Welcome, welcome," the woman said. She shot a glance at Lacy. "Oh, he's a fine specimen, Lacy." "Don't start, Mom, please." The woman pretended not to hear. "Ben, why don't you come right on in and make yourself at home?" She grabbed him by the shoulders and ushered him into their humble home. The interior was simply a large room with doors on either side, linoleum floors, cheap boxwood doors, and candles lit all around because this place was not getting electricity. But upon entering, a long table presented itself with, what Ben assumed, was Lacy's family. All their eyes turned towards him as he entered. Ben realized there was something off as soon as he stepped in. The men and women seated around the table stared at him with rheumy eyes, distended fingers, and bulbous heads. "Hello, Oween," one of them said. Lacy's mom held up her hands. "Now, Cousin Jerry, is that how we welcome Lacy's offering?" she admonished him. Cousin Jerry looked confused for a minute. No," he said. "No is right. You're going to scare him off if you keep talking like that. Now everyone welcome Lacy's guest, Ben." Applause surrounded him, as if he were a celebrity of some kind. Ben smiled and waved and wanted to share this moment with Lacy, but she wasn't there. He looked around the room, but didn't see her. "Please, sit, Ben," Lacy's mom said, extending her hand to an empty chair at the table. He sat as instructed, but something she said stuck with him. What did you mean when you said I was Lacy's offering?" Ben asked Lacy's mom. The table went silent. He felt the eyes of Lacy's family burning a hole in him. Once again, he looked for Lacy, but didn't see her. Lacy's mom steepled her hands under her chin. "Oh, it's Halloween," she said. "The time of spirits. We don't need the plastic pumpkins, the horrid renditions of bats, vampires, or zombies, the screaming of children begging for candy." The screaming of children shouting "trick or treat" interrupted her speech. Okay, maybe that last one was an overstatement. Everyone at the table froze. The clattering of forks and spoons stilled. Outside, tiny hands banged on the door. Children's voices screaming, "Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat," over and over. We have to get the door," Ben said. "I'll do it." He stood up. "Come on, it's Halloween. Children at the door. You can afford candy." Uncle Jerry had other ideas. He lunged towards Ben, a salad fork held like a horror movie villain about to stab their victims through the top of their head. Ben rolled to the floor as Uncle Jerry's fork missed by an inch. "What the fuck is this?" he demanded. "I'm leaving." No, we're leaving. Where's Lacy?" Lacy's mother stepped between the two. "Now, Uncle Jerry, stop this nonsense right now. And you," she turned to Ben, "quit being a sniveling coward." Ben was on his back, narrowly escaping a knife attack. "She can't talk to me like that." The scratching at the door intensified. "Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat." "Now you go wash up, Ben," Lacy's mom said. "The bathroom is down that hall to the right." She pointed to the hall in question with a withered, bone-shaped finger. Ben slowly stood from the floor, appreciating his height leverage. Uncle Jerry stood still but glared at him, Lacy's mom with her outstretched arm, finger/bone pointing the way. No Lacy. The rest of the family eating as if nothing happened. Ben stood shakily to his feet as the sounds of angry, unfulfilled children continued to beat at the doors and windows. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. As he stumbles down the impossibly endless hallway, the atmosphere changes. It's no longer unsettling, it's terrifying. Like being buried alive in a nest of snakes. His nerves are on fire. He needs to leave. Just leave. But he needs to find Lacy first. He stumbles until he comes to the only door with a faint glow from underneath. The bathroom, he thinks. Ben doesn't care if he shits, pisses, vomits, or all of them at once. He's going to find Lacy and get the fuck away from her weird family. He grabs the knob, turns it, and enters. The desert heat slaps him like he owed it money. It's almost suffocating. Ahead, nothing but sand and cacti. Behind, the door transforms into a mass of rattlesnakes coiled and ready to strike. He faces the sand and starts walking with his hands attempting to cover his eyes. Each step is brutal, the wind turning the sand into tiny missiles, pummeling him from every side. "Lacy, where are you?" he screams. He realizes how pathetic his floundering is. He's somehow trapped in a desert, and yet he still hears the sing-song voices of children. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat. Hands surround him, claws ripping and tearing at his most vulnerable parts. He's aware of one arm breaking off into a sea of blood. The other, if it's there, it's useless. He's being taken apart, piece by piece. Lacy wakes up with a start. She makes her way out of her childhood bedroom. There's her family, enjoying another holiday meal. There's the beating on the door and the scratching at the windows. One voice yelling, "Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat." Sounds ominous, though. She recognizes it, right? Ah, shit, she can't remember. Her mother places a withered hand on her shoulder. It's all for the greater good. Yes, the greater good. Lacy smiles. All thought of Ben ignored. "Uncle Jerry, why do you have that fork?" The end.